Hey there. Today we're going to talk about the top reasons why you do not want to move to Virginia Beach. And we're going to start right now. I love Virginia Beach, and there's so many great things about the city of Virginia Beach, but there's also some things to consider if you're moving here that you're going to want to know. And maybe you'll find that there could be a better option for you with some of the surrounding cities. The first thing I want to talk about, hold on a second. Elijah, come here. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is my puppy. He is very distracting while I'm trying to record these videos. This is Elijah. He is almost 9 months old, and here very soon, he is going to be seeing the groomer, and he's going to get his hair done up. So if you watch to the end of the video, you can see what he looks like after he gets all cut up. Okay, sorry about that distraction. Let's talk about the weather. The weather overall in Virginia Beach is not bad. I think it's great, and if you look at the national average, I think it's actually rated pretty high. However, depending on where you're coming from, it may seem a little hot. We are technically in the south, and during the summer months, the month of July specifically, you can expect it to be around 88 degrees. On average, each year, there's about 28 days of the year where it's actually hotter than 90 degrees. Sometimes it gets over 100 degrees, but that's pretty rare. Part of the problem that we have with heat here in Virginia Beach is the humidity that comes with that heat. Anywhere there's a large body of water, aka the Atlantic Ocean, there will be humidity. Virginia Beach is a prime example of that. So when it's hot, it feels even hotter. In the summer months, the humidity levels get up to 70%, but most of the year it's pretty comfortable. The months where it's most humid is obviously June, July, and August. The humidity season runs all the way through September. We even feel it sometimes in November and December. I remember one year where it was 72 degrees out on Christmas Eve. The likelihood of having a white Christmas here in Virginia Beach is very low. Virginia Beach is located along the Atlantic Ocean, and it is susceptible to hurricanes and tropical storms, especially during the Atlantic hurricane season, which lasts from June to November. This can lead to property damage, flooding, and just disruption in your daily life. Being on the Atlantic Ocean, we obviously do have some tropical storms and hurricanes, but overall, it's not too bad if you're comparing it to anywhere down south, especially in Florida. Another thing to consider if you're moving to Virginia Beach is just the flooding in general. Even unrelated to a major storm, sometimes we experience flooding. The elevation is pretty low in a lot of areas, and we have a lot of flood zones. If you're moving to the area, just be conscious of that and where you're living, and understand that you may have to pay for flood insurance. Flood insurance can range anywhere between $800 up to $2,800 per year. If living in a flood zone is a major concern for you, no worries. There are plenty of options that are not in a flood zone, especially if you go outside of Virginia Beach, like down in Chesapeake or over in the western branch part of Chesapeake all the way over to Suffolk. It's very rare you'll run into flood zones. In the winter months, we do have maybe 1 or 2, possibly 3 days where it will snow, but we don't usually see more than a couple inches. Overall, our winters are pretty mild. There's about 47 days annually where we drop below freezing. So if you're somebody that enjoys snow, or maybe you like to go sledding with your kids, you're probably not going to have that here. And even if we did get enough snow to go sledding, another thing about Virginia Beach is it is completely flat. There are no hills. I take that back. There is one hill. It's called Mount Trashmore. It used to be a landfill, and they turned it into a park. So it is a hill, but they actually have city ordinance rules against sledding there. Another reason you may not want to move to Virginia Beach is if you have problems with allergies. According to the Drug Watch researchers, Virginia Beach is actually rated the best place in our country if you have asthma. However, Virginia Beach is rated one of the worst cities to live in if you have allergies. The results of the report were based on the total pollen scores, the over-the-counter medication use for allergies, and the number of allergy specialists. Virginia Beach checked in at the 11th worst out of 100 cities. I moved here over a decade ago from the Portland, Oregon area, and I never had allergies until I moved here. Now, every season, I tend to feel it. When the pollen hits really hard, it actually covers your cars. I drive a black car, so I'm constantly having to wash my car to get that pollen off. Another reason you may not want to move to Virginia Beach is there's not a lot to do. Outside of the beach life, there's not a lot happening in Virginia Beach. There's not a big downtown area. There's no big clubs. There's really not a lot of nightlife. Some of the local residents here feel that it lacks cultural attractions compared to other large cities in our country. Although the beach is a major draw, those seeking vibrant arts and a culture scene may find it somewhat lacking compared to some of the nearby cities such as Norfolk or Richmond. Another reason you may not want to move to Virginia Beach is, on average, the cost of living is 4.8% higher than the rest of our country, according to bestplaces.net. The median sales price for a home in the country is right around $338,000. In Virginia Beach, the median sales price is $370,000. Virginia Beach, on average, is about 9.7% higher than the rest of the country. Outside of being a tour guide here on YouTube, I am also a real estate agent, and if you are moving to the area and you have any questions about housing, that is something I am very familiar with. Here is some real-time live data in our market. So you can see here that the median sales price is actually just below $370,000 in Virginia Beach, but this is considering both attached and detached. So if you're looking for a detached single family home, the median sales price is actually at $409,000 right now. Let's take a look at a few other options though you may want to consider if you're moving to Virginia Beach. So depending on where you work and where you travel to, Chesapeake might be a better option for you. As you can see, the median sales price is right in line with the national average in our country at $339,900. You will also find that the highest rated school districts are found in the South Chesapeake area according to greatschools.org. Chesapeake on the map is located just west of Virginia Beach. This would be the whole Virginia Beach area, and just really southwest of Virginia Beach is Chesapeake. Another area that's even more affordable than Chesapeake you may want to consider is Norfolk. The city of Norfolk is sitting around $301,000 on their median sales price, which is much cheaper. Now you got to be careful. There's certain parts of Norfolk that may have higher crime, but there's also some really cool parts of Norfolk that you might want to live in. Norfolk on the map is located right here, just northwest of Virginia Beach. Just so you know, it's pronounced Norfolk. A lot of people come here and they say Norfolk and Suffolk. It is Norfolk. The original way that the old school locals would say it is Norfolk. Because it almost sounds like profanity, we don't call it that. Another thing I want to highlight real quick about the Virginia Beach housing market is inventory. We are sitting around 1.8 months of supply, and what that means is if we stopped listing properties right now, in about 1.8 months from now, we would run out of houses. A balanced market is between 4 to 6 months of inventory. Because we're so low, it is more of a seller's market currently. All this is subject to change, obviously, depending on when you're watching this video. If you want some updated information, reach out to me direct. My phone number is right here on the screen, or you can find it in the description. If you want to know more detail about how expensive it is to live here, check out the video I made called The Cost of Living in Virginia Beach. In that video, I dive deep into all kinds of expenses and costs that you can expect if you're moving to the Virginia Beach area. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm gonna show you what Elijah looks like after his haircut. Unfortunately, because his hair got so long and it's really hard to maintain, it started matting in certain areas on his chest and behind his arms, so I'm fearful that they're gonna have to shave him. Elijah is a golden retriever mixed with a poodle, and he has more of the poodle genes, so he's hyperallergenic and he doesn't really shed. But his hair definitely takes a lot of maintenance. Okay, a couple other things that I want to mention about why you may not want to live in Virginia Beach is transportation. If you are someone that likes public transportation and you like taking a bus or a train, this is not the right city for that. We do have a train, we do have buses, but it is very limited. You definitely need a vehicle. Another thing to consider if you're moving to the area is the tunnel traffic and the tolls involved with the tunnels, some of the bridges as well. Let's say if you are working up here on the north side, like up in Newport News, or maybe you're stationed up at the Langley base or Fort Eustis. If you are traveling through this tunnel every day, you're gonna experience a lot of traffic. This is the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Now, even if you're living here in Virginia Beach and you're just traveling west, there is the Midtown Tunnel. There's a couple tunnels here that definitely get some traffic as well, and there's a toll every time you go through, so you definitely want to make sure that you get an easy pass. It's going to save you a lot of money. Another thing to consider about Virginia Beach is there is a lot of tourists. If that's something that might bother you, Watch out for that, especially when you get closer to the beach over in the oceanfront area. During the peak seasons, specifically in the summer months, Virginia Beach can become very crowded. This creates more traffic congestion, longer waits at restaurants, and obviously the beach is more crowded. According to the city website, we had 13.6 million visitors in 2022. The numbers for 2023 haven't come out yet. I imagine it's going to be pretty close to the same. Virginia Beach also has some strict rules about Airbnbs and short-term rentals you may want to consider. If you're buying a house here and your goal is to eventually rent it out, just be aware of that and make sure you're up to date on what those rules are, because there are some neighborhoods that are prohibited from having short-term rentals unless if you go through the petition process. The last thing I want to mention before I go and get Elijah is the personal property tax. This is not specific to Virginia Beach. This is a Virginia thing as a state. If you're moving from out of state, just understand that you're going to get taxed on your personal property. And by personal property, I mean any vehicle that you may own or any boats that you may own. This tax is not cheap. My car cost me about $1,200 a year. Somehow they come up with a value that they say your car is worth and they tax you on it. Okay, Elijah's back. Oh no, buddy. I'm so sorry. All right, guys, don't make fun of him. I don't even recognize him anymore. I've never seen him this small. Look how skinny he is. Oh, buddy, you're still handsome. Here you go. He'll grow back. If you found this video helpful and if you think my puppy is still cute, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe to this channel. Again, if you have any questions about moving to the area, feel free to reach out to me direct. This is my real cell phone number, and there's a link in the description if you would like to set up a free consultation with me if you are considering buying a home.